Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie and this is the week 44, October the 27th through November the 2nd weekly review wrap up. As I said, this is the week 44, October the 27th through November the 2nd weekly wrap up. It has been a seriously super busy week for me this week that just passed. If you have not been following me on Instagram or Twitter or any of my other socials, you need to do that. All the information is down in the description box, so make sure you do that. Because if you had been following me, you would know that my husband, in the beginning, I thought it was a man cold. Come to find out, it's an actual cold, and he has actually been sick. So I've had to retract some of my man cold comments that he had, or that I had for him, and you know, let him be sick and get better and things like that. Thank you for all those that are following my socials, reaching out saying, you know, hope he feels better. Yeah, I hope he feels better too soon, because me doing all this manual labor that he usually does is no joke, okay? No joke whatsoever, which brings me to the fact that I did some vlogging over this past week and this weekend, which means there will be possibly 2, 3 new vlogs over at my Patreon page, which is a page where you guys can donate to the cause and see behind the scenes videos and things like that. All the information is down in the description box as well. And I started being a Amazon affiliate, so the links down in the description box for the books that I'm going to talk about this week are going to be down there. Nothing is extra cost to you guys. It's just a little bump that they send to me if you guys end up liking a book and buying the book through Amazon. Please use the link down below with that book, and that helps me and it keeps me going for you guys. So let's get into the books that I read last week. Last week I read 7 books, and to start the week off, I finished Boy in Love, which is In Love number 2 by Crownover and Rebecca Yarros. I place this in New Adult. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC. It has since released, so make sure you go check that out. And this is the after conclusion to Langley and Eaker's fake dating situation that they had going on. If you have not read the first book, know that it ends on a cliffhanger with them being split up. And this is them after that time period has elapsed. And it's a return from deployment and trying to fix a relationship that was possibly broken or that could have possibly been. And I loved every single moment of it. It had very realistic expectations and aspects that our lovely Rebecca Yarros provided through her connection with the military, and I could be in that story with them, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was very heartfelt and sweet and sexy and just so many yeses. So many yeses. The next book that we finished was Landon, or we. I talk about it like I got somebody else reading with me. I don't have anybody else reading with me. The next book I finished was Landon and Shay, which was Elle and S Duet number 1 by Brittainy C. Cherry. I placed this in young adult only because it happens while they're in high school. I give this book 5 humongous, amazing, emotional, fantastic stars. I give it 2.5 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC. This is a Black author, and this book contains mental health rep that I think was so spot on. So spot on. Just, whew. Now, let me get into the story. It is a bad boy in Landon. He is that popular guy, but he's also sort of the bad boy. And you have Shay, who is the creative quiet girl. They end up making a bet to see, you know, that whole, what was the movie? Oh, She's All That, I think it was. That, oh, I bet you I can, you know, make you fall in love with me type thing. That type of storyline, but it goes into a very, very different way. So about 25% of the book, I was like, I don't know that I'm feeling this story, because it was so YA, because it was set in high school, and, you know, was like, am I really feeling, you know, this book? And then it continued to go on. I fell in love with Landon. I fell in love with Shay and their aspects and their family lives that were super troubled, but at the same time, they were dealing with their issues. And, ooh, then I put on my parent hat, because I have a son, and Landon goes through some things that I can only hope that my son does not go through, but has some realistic value to me, and I was here for it. I mean, just completely here for it, destroyed, emotionally involved. I really need the second part to this duet to find out what happens between Landon and Shay, because some things happen that are just crazy. And if you hadn't noticed, I got my nails done. Aren't they pretty now? They're like aqua and green. You can check that picture out over on Instagram as well. The next book that I finished was Falling for the Cowboy by Kennedy Fox. I place this in rom-com. I give this book 4 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I listen to it as an audiobook. And this book follows Priestley, who is a Bookstagram cover model photographer, and she goes to the ranch that we already know from the Bishop Brothers and some other books from Kennedy Fox, and takes a vacation there to do some, you know, lounging, but at the same time working, getting some, you know, cowboy feel type books and things like that. Colton is the ranch hand that works at the B&B, but he ends up keeps running into her. They both have misconceptions about each other. It is sort of hate to love, sort of. They have some hate moments. It's not like true hate. It's more like annoyance to lovers. And the two of them sort of, you know, work out their feelings, and it gets sexy, and it was lots of fun. Lots of different antics, and I was totally here for it. The next book that I finished was Monster in His Eyes, Monster in His Eyes #1 by J.M. Darhower, and I place this in dark romantic suspense. I give this book 3.75 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listen to it as an audiobook, and this is you guys' viewers' pick. I will talk more about this in the wrap-up, but I wanted to make note of that. And this book follows Ignacio and Carissa. If you haven't noticed through the star rating, I wasn't really feeling this one. It was very, there's an age gap that deals in this story. There is also lots and lots of secrets that are finally revealed, way further into the story. Sorry if there's some background noise going on. They're doing something upstairs. I have no clue. I need to like soundproof my room or something. Anyways, back to this review. So I was just like, I don't know. I don't even know that I want to read the second book or third book for that matter, because I'm just not really that invested in this. The next book that I finished was Waterfall Effect by K.K. Allen. I place this in romantic suspense. I give this book 4.25 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listen to it as an audiobook. This book deals with mental health, serial killers, and survivors of kidnapping. I did not know that going in because, as you guys know, I like to go in blind to my books of reading. I don't read synopsis or anything like that. When I did this as part of the viewer pick, books, I didn't know. I really had no clue. No clue whatsoever. So this story follows Aurora and Jackson. Aurora goes through something very, very at the very beginning of the story where she has to testify against her father, who is known as a serial killer, is in a mental hospital for being a serial killer. So then there is some time away between Aurora and Jackson, and Aurora ends up coming back to town, to their small town that they live in and stuff like that. And this is them sort of figuring out where their life is now. And I was intrigued by the story. I started to enjoy this story, and that little small serial killer aspect definitely put me over and to my enjoyment of this story. The next book that I read was Loving Miss Sassy by Madden and Joanne Schwehm. I place this in rom-com. I give this book 4.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read it as an arc, and this is a true hate to love story. They're competitors. You have Gianna, who is the sister to Luca and Dante. So she comes over from Italy. She is a Instagram influencer. And Colton, who is a marketing and advertising. That's where I was going with that. Advertising sort of genius guy. Both of them are flown into New York. Colton is based out of Chicago, and like I said, Gianna is from Italy. Both of them come to New York to compete for this new product that is going on, and lo and behold, they forgot to tell them that they would be living in the same brownstone together. So then, you know, they have to live together, they have to compete against each other for this account, and of course, there's some love, there's some antics that go along with it. I really, really enjoyed this. I loved seeing the other characters that I've already met in the first 4 books. Luca, Dante, and Kyle, and what is Soren? That's his name. So those 4 guys make appearances with their women in this story, and I was here for it. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it, and would totally recommend it. I can't wait to see Joanne and AM and at Indies Invade Philly next weekend, and I am so excited. So excited. And the final book that I read last week was Ride a Rancher by Elle Christiansen. I'm a little leery about where I'm placing this one, but it's a novella. I give it 2 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listened to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance. Read Me Romance. And this book follows Helena and Stone. Helena moves to this ranch to start a new life, and Stone is the owner of a ranch that connects with the ranch, something or another. He's a vet and a rancher and things like that. This story is majorly insta-lovey. I'm all for insta-love, but the moment Stone sees Helena after she crashed his truck, or somebody's truck, a friend's truck, into his fence line, he's like, I love her, I want her, I need her, she's mine, must be mine, I need her. And it's like, from there, it's like, okay. And then some of the writing just didn't work for me. You could say pussy, but you couldn't say, you had to say penis instead of saying dick. I was just like, this story just was not for me, and that's all that's to that one. So, I am currently reading Between Now and Heartbreak by Dylan Allen. This is the 2nd book in this trilogy. This continues our story, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more about this. This releases either today or tomorrow, so make sure you go out and get it, or hoard them together so that you can read the trilogy depending on how you want to do that. It's the beginning of the month, you guys, so that is the only book that I have on my slate right now. I'm still trying to set up what I will be reading in November. Make sure you check out Tuesday's video for the readathons that I will be participating in. Have you read any of the books that I just talked about? Do any of them sound interesting to you? Let me know down in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. There is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. There's my Patreon link down in the description box so you guys can donate and support me to keep making these amazing videos, as well as the vlog videos that I'm doing over on Patreon that you'll have access to. And make sure you use the affiliate links down below if you decide to purchase any of these books that I just talked about. I think I've covered everything. Did you give me a thumbs up? I hope so. And we'll see you guys later.